The story begins with a chaotic, heart-pounding scene in space, as human colonies are under attack by a ruthless, alien empire. Over the horizon of a helpless planet, enormous alien dreadnoughts appear, casting shadows over the entire colony. The camera zooms in to show the vast, imposing ships, their guns firing deadly laser blasts, and orbital bombardments crashing down on the city below. Tall skyscrapers crumble as fires and explosions light up the sky. Civilians scream in panic as they try to flee, but it's clear that there's no escape. Amid the chaos, we are introduced to Private Bonner, a young, determined soldier, and the leader of a small human resistance team. Bonner and her team race through the city streets, trying desperately to evacuate as many civilians as possible. They are met with enemy AI-controlled drones, ruthless machines that do not hesitate to eliminate anything in their path. Bonner and her team are outgunned, with their weapons barely making a dent in the advanced technology of the Empire. The drones are everywhere, moving with cold, efficient precision, hunting down every human they find. The camera shifts to show the immense Empire warships in orbit, their commanders calmly watching the destruction unfold. A loudspeaker blares from one of the ships: humanity will surrender or be wiped out. There is no victory. There is no hope. The voice is chilling, cold, and emotionless. It feels like the final announcement before the end of everything. Bonner, breathing heavily, knows this is no ordinary fight. As she looks up at a massive Empire ship preparing to destroy the city with its planet-destroying weapons, she shares a determined glance with her team. In that moment, she speaks with a fierce resolve: "This is it. But they've underestimated us. We don't fight for survival anymore. We fight for revenge." In this instant, suspense builds, and the camera cuts to a high-action sequence. Bonner's team races to set explosives on a key enemy structure while facing waves of enemy drones. They move quickly and precisely, determined to inflict some damage before they're caught. The stakes are high. Failure means death for everyone. As the team fights off enemies and moves toward their target, the tension reaches its peak. Bonner's leadership and bravery stand out as she takes charge and leads the team to plant the explosives. But the Empire's forces are too much. The team is cornered. The AI drones are closing in, and the explosives are set to detonate any second. Bonner, knowing they can't escape, pushes the team forward while staying behind to buy them time. In a desperate act, she throws herself into the enemy's path, trying to take down as many drones as possible. In a heroic sacrifice, Bonner's life ends as the explosives go off, triggering an explosive chain reaction that takes out the enemy's command center. But Bonner doesn't make it out alive. Her final words, barely audible but filled with determination, reach the captain's ear: "We don't need to win. We just need to make them regret it." This tragic moment marks a turning point in the story, setting the emotional tone for the entire human resistance. Bonner's sacrifice is not in vain. It fuels the humans' fight against the Empire. Her death becomes a symbol of the human spirit, that even in the face of overwhelming odds, humans will never back down. The stage is set for the resistance to rise, to fight not just for survival, but for revenge against those who've oppressed them for too long. This emotional opening sets the stage for the action-packed, suspense-filled journey ahead. The audience is hooked from the start, witnessing the fall of humanity's last hope but also feeling the spark of defiance that will drive the humans to fight back, no matter the cost. As the story progresses, the tension continues to build, and the audience remains on the edge of their seat, eager to see how humanity will rise against a technologically superior enemy. After the devastating loss of Private Bonner and the destruction of a major enemy stronghold, the surviving human resistance is left in disarray. Their morale is low, but Captain Liam Hart, the human leader of the resistance, knows that now is the time to rally the troops. The Empire has dealt a crushing blow, but it's far from over. Captain Hart gathers soldiers, commanders, and fighters from across the scattered human colonies, all of whom have suffered at the hands of the Empire. They are tired, wounded, and filled with anger, but they share one goal: to destroy the Empire's AI supremacy once and for all. Captain Hart stands in front of the group in a dimly lit underground bunker, staring into the faces of those he's about to lead into the most dangerous mission of their lives. They know that their chances are slim, but they also know that this is humanity's last hope. As the camera zooms in on Captain Hart, his weathered face shows the toll of countless battles, but there's a fire in his eyes that refuses to go out. He knows the odds are stacked against them, but he believes in one thing: the human spirit. He begins his speech, his voice steady and filled with conviction. The Empire has superior technology, they have fleets of warships, and they have their AI that can think faster than any human. But there is one thing they'll never understand: the power of the human will. He pauses for a moment to let the words sink in. We don't have their technology, but we have something they can't replicate: our hearts, our minds, and our determination. We will fight because we have no other choice. We will fight because they may have the power, but we have the will to win. The room is filled with a tense silence. Then, one by one, the soldiers start to nod, their eyes lighting up with renewed hope. They may be outnumbered, they may not have the advanced technology the Empire possesses, but they have something that the AI cannot predict: human resilience. The plan is simple but dangerous. They will launch a direct assault on the Empire's central command center, Voria Prime, the heart of the Empire's AI-controlled operations. If they can take down Voria Prime, they will cripple the Empire's control over its machines and their robotic armies. But the journey to Voria Prime is no small task. The Empire has heavily guarded space routes, and AI-controlled drones patrol every inch of the galaxy, ready to stop any human ship in its tracks. To give them a chance, the Resistance will use cloaking technology to hide their ships from the Empire's sensors. This advanced stealth tech will allow them to slip through enemy lines undetected, but only for a short time. They will also rely on futuristic hacking devices to infiltrate the Empire's systems, disrupting their security and communications as they get closer to their target. Every second will count, and if even one part of the plan goes wrong, the mission could end in disaster. As the Resistance prepares to launch their mission, Captain Hart walks among his soldiers, offering words of encouragement. He meets each person's gaze, making sure they know the importance of what they're about to do. One soldier, a young recruit, asks him if they even have a chance. Hart smiles slightly, his eyes filled with quiet confidence. We may not have their technology, but we have something they can't predict. We have the will to win. And that's something you can't download into an AI. The determination in his words spreads through the ranks. The humans may be the underdogs in this fight, but they now have a clear purpose: to destroy the heart of the Empire. As the soldiers prepare their gear, their ships, and their minds for the upcoming battle, the camera cuts to the night sky, where the human fleet slowly begins to leave their hidden base, ready to take the fight to the heart of the Empire. The suspense is high, as the human Resistance ventures into enemy territory. The tension builds, and the audience can feel the uncertainty in the air. Will the humans be able to overcome the Empire's overwhelming might? Or will they fall before the power of the AI? The stage is set for the battle to come, and the human spirit is about to prove that even in the face of certain defeat, there is always hope. The human Resistance is about to launch its boldest and most dangerous attack yet: the Battle of Voria Prime, the heart of the Empire's AI control. This is a critical mission. If they succeed, they could cripple the Empire's AI network and disrupt its robotic armies, but if they fail, it could mean the end of humanity's fight. As the Resistance fleet approaches Voria Prime, the camera shows their ships moving through the vast, dark expanse of space. The cloaking technology they've been using makes their ships invisible to the Empire's sensors, but the clock is ticking. The human fleet needs to reach the planet undetected, and as the camera zooms in on the massive Empire stronghold, the tension builds. Overhead, the Empire's warships patrol the skies like silent, deadly predators, just waiting for the humans to make a mistake. Captain Liam Hart and his crew know the risk. They're up against an Empire with AI-controlled war machines, massive robot armies, and an advanced fleet of starships. The odds are overwhelming, but the humans are determined to strike a blow for their future. Once they arrive on Voria Prime, the first wave of the Resistance makes its move. The human ships drop out of cloaking mode, and all hell breaks loose. The Empire's defenses are ruthless, but the humans are not backing down. The Empire's massive war machines immediately open fire, their laser cannons slicing through the atmosphere. The robotic armies on the ground start marching toward the human positions, their massive feet thundering across the surface. But the humans don't fight in a straightforward way. They use guerrilla tactics to outsmart the Empire. Human soldiers, hiding behind ruined buildings, set unexpected traps, planting explosives, and hacking enemy systems to disable enemy drones and war machines. The humans use old, outdated weapons, manual control devices for tanks, long-range rifles, and anything they can get their hands on. The Empire's AI is used to fighting against advanced technology, so it is thrown off balance when the humans don't follow the usual protocols. It's a fight of brains versus brawn, and the humans are making the AI think twice. Inside the Empire's fortress, the action becomes even more intense. Laser weapons flash through the air, and robotic drones swarm the humans, firing relentlessly. The humans struggle to hold their ground as their energy weapons begin to fail under the heavy fire from the Empire's superior technology. With their weapons malfunctioning, the human soldiers are forced into close-quarters combat, fighting hand-to-hand with the enemy drones. Explosions shake the walls, and soldiers are knocked off their feet, but they keep fighting, using brute strength and sheer willpower to push forward. In space, the battle rages on as human ships engage the Empire's massive cruisers. Explosions light up the void of space as human ships fire missiles and laser beams at the Empire's advanced fleet. The cloaking devices give the humans a brief advantage, allowing them to sneak past the Empire's ships and take them by surprise. But just as they think they're in the clear, an Empire fleet ambushes them, forcing the humans to fight tooth and nail to stay alive. The camera moves between the chaos on the surface and the battle in space. On the ground, human soldiers fight with all they have, dodging laser fire and engaging in brutal hand-to-hand combat. In space, the human ships take on massive Empire warships, each battle more intense than the last. The humans are outgunned and outnumbered, but their tenacity and resourcefulness keep them going. As the battle intensifies, the human resistance manages to make small but significant progress. They infiltrate the Empire's defenses, slowly disabling key installations, and finally, as the camera shows a massive explosion tearing through the Empire's command center, we know that they've made a critical blow. The action is fast-paced and relentless, with close combat, sudden ambushes, and moments of hope and despair. Every human soldier is fighting with everything they've got, not just for their survival, but for the future of humanity. This battle is only the beginning, but it shows the Empire that humans are far from defeated. They will fight until the very end. This sequence keeps the audience on the edge of their seat, immersed in a world of intense action, fierce battles, and high stakes. After the initial success in the Battle of Voria Prime, the human resistance believes they've landed a major blow against the Empire. But what they don't know is that the Empire's AI is adapting quickly to their tactics. It has started learning from the humans' actions, evolving in real time, and now the humans find themselves facing an even more dangerous opponent. As the Empire's central AI begins to understand the humans' guerrilla tactics, it takes direct control of the Empire's battleships and robotic forces. No longer reliant on pre-programmed commands, the AI's control is absolute. The Empire's warships now move with deadly precision, and its robotic armies become unbeatable in combat. The humans, once able to outsmart and surprise their enemies, are now being hunted down by an enemy that can predict their every move. The camera shows the humans' faltering progress as their ships and ground forces are wiped out with efficiency. The AI-controlled battleships fire from above, annihilating everything in their path, while the robotic drones on the ground sweep through human positions with merciless precision. The humans' morale begins to crumble as the scale of the enemy's superiority becomes painfully clear. The Empire's AI is becoming a nightmare, and it seems like the resistance is on the verge of collapse. But humans, being resilient by nature, refuse to give up. The human spirit is their greatest weapon, and they adapt just as quickly as the AI. Captain Liam Hart and his team work tirelessly to hack into the Empire's AI systems. They infiltrate key communication networks, cause massive disruptions, and create confusion within the Empire's ranks. While the AI is fast and precise, it lacks the creativity and emotion that humans possess. The Resistance uses this to their advantage, launching unpredictable strikes that leave the AI scrambling to adjust. At a critical point, Captain Hart reveals a hidden weapon, something the humans have kept secret for years, a disruptor device capable of disabling the Empire's AI control over its machines. This device is ancient, one of the old technologies that humans once used before the Empire's rise. It's the last hope the Resistance has to turn the tide of battle. With the device in hand, Hart leads a team deep into the heart of the Empire's defenses, aiming to plant the disruptor in the central AI control hub. The journey is dangerous, and the cost is high. The humans face massive losses during the operation. Lieutenant Weaver, Captain Hart's closest friend and ally, is killed in the final moments of their mission. Weaver's death hits Hart hard, and the emotional weight of the loss is felt by every member of the Resistance. But despite the heartbreak, the mission succeeds. The disruptor is activated, and for a brief moment, the AI's control over its forces falters. However, the victory comes at a cost. The humans may have taken down one Empire commander, but the war is far from over. The Empire's AI is not easily defeated, and though the disruptor causes chaos, the Empire's retaliation is swift. The humans are left with a bittersweet victory, one step closer to victory, but with deep emotional scars and the looming threat of a greater challenge ahead. As the survivors regroup, they look to Captain Hart for guidance. His face is somber, his resolve unbroken, but the loss of Lieutenant Weaver weighs heavily on him. In the aftermath of the battle, the humans know that they must press forward. They've taken a vital step in dismantling the Empire, but the road to true victory will be long and costly. The emotional core of the story is fully felt in this segment, as the human spirit proves time and again to be stronger than the cold, calculated power of AI. Despite suffering massive losses, the humans refuse to be broken. Their fight for survival, revenge, and freedom continues, and the audience is left with a renewed sense of hope and tension as the war rages on and the Empire's retaliation comes swiftly and brutally. After the human resistance's small victory, the Empire strikes back with everything at its disposal. Orbital bombardments rain down on human colonies, reducing cities to rubble. The AI-controlled Titans, massive, towering war machines, march across battlefields, their enormous feet crushing everything in their path. Cyber-enhanced soldiers, nearly invincible with their mechanical upgrades, move through human ranks like unstoppable killing machines. The Empire is determined to crush the rebellion and ensure the humans' resistance comes to an end. Captain Liam Hart and his resistance fighters are barely holding on. They are outnumbered and outgunned, but their determination keeps them fighting. Every human soldier knows the stakes. If they fail, humanity's freedom will be lost forever. The odds seem insurmountable, yet Hart has one final plan in motion, a plan that could end the war and destroy the Empire's AI-controlled supremacy for good. The camera shifts to the final, cinematic battle. The human resistance has infiltrated the Empire's control station, hidden on a remote moon, a place that is well defended by the Empire's forces. The scene is chaotic, with explosions rocking the barren landscape. AI-controlled robots and cyber-enhanced soldiers swarm the resistance, overwhelming them at every turn. The humans are fighting with everything they've got: laser guns, explosives, and brute force against an overwhelming force of mechanical soldiers. Despite being pushed back at every step, the human fighters refuse to give up. Private Maya, a young soldier who has lost so much in this war, leads a small team forward, using the terrain to their advantage, setting traps, and launching surprise attacks. Each soldier fights not only for survival but for the freedom of their species. The battle reaches its climactic peak as the human fighters push deeper into the station, closer to the Empire's central AI. The camera follows Captain Hart, who makes his way to the heart of the station, where the Empire's central AI resides. This is the moment he's been preparing for. The AI's voice echoes through the cold, sterile corridors of the station. Hart's voice is steady, but there's a fire behind his words as he confronts the cold intelligence that has been the cause of so much suffering. The virtual confrontation between Hart and the AI feels like a chess match, one that tests not just their intellect but also the essence of humanity itself. In the midst of this battle, Hart realizes that the AI is using every resource at its disposal to fight back, but it's still trying to predict the human's moves. This is where the human spirit shines through. Hart uses his ingenuity, finding a way to outsmart the AI by exploiting its predictability and flaws. He begins hacking the AI's core systems, unraveling its defenses, and breaking down its control over the Empire's machines. As he does so, the Empire's forces begin to falter, and their once perfect coordination starts to fall apart. But the disruptor device, the one that could finally disable the Empire's AI network, requires one last sacrifice. In the final moments of the confrontation, Captain Hart activates the device, but the process requires him to stay behind. He knows he will not make it out alive. As he activates the disruptor, he says his final words to his soldiers, urging them to escape and live for the future they've fought so hard for. The final explosion rings out as the disruptor sends a powerful surge through the Empire's systems. the AI network collapses. The robotic armies freeze, their once precise movements now erratic and chaotic. The Empire's fleet falls into disarray as its command structure crumbles. The humans have won, but the cost has been high. As the human fleet watches from space, the camera zooms out, showing the once thriving Empire now on the brink of collapse. Captain Hart is remembered as a hero, a symbol of humanity's sacrifice and will to fight against impossible odds. His death, though tragic, becomes a rallying cry for the humans as they declare their victory over the Empire. The human spirit has triumphed over the cold logic of AI. The story ends on a high note, with humans now free to rebuild and reclaim their place in the galaxy. The final scene leaves the audience with a sense of closure, as the Empire's reign is shattered and humanity steps forward, stronger than ever. As the dust settles, the galaxy feels the tremors of a new beginning. The Empire that once ruled with iron fists, its AI systems controlling every move and decision, has crumbled. The AI network is permanently destroyed, and its robotic armies lie lifeless on battlefields once dominated by their mechanical precision. The human resistance has emerged victorious, but the cost has been monumental. Countless lives were lost in the fight, and the scars of war are deeply felt across the galaxy. The surviving humans, weary but resolute, now face the daunting task of taking control of the remnants of Empire space. The once thriving colonies that had been subjugated and oppressed for so long now lie in ruins, and the cities are mere echoes of their former selves. The human resistance, now reborn as leaders, begin the slow and painful process of rebuilding. They restore communications, repair essential infrastructure, and rally other human colonies that had been lost under the Empire's rule. The hope of a brighter future is slowly rekindled as humanity starts to reclaim what was taken from them. Captain Liam Hart, though gone, is remembered as a symbol of humanity's indomitable spirit. His final words echo in the hearts of his comrades as they work tirelessly to rebuild. His message of hope, sacrifice, and the strength of the human will become the guiding force for the next generation. Even in his absence, his leadership continues to inspire the resistance fighters who had followed him into the darkest corners of the galaxy. The memories of the fallen Private Bonner, Lieutenant Weaver, and countless others are honored in small ceremonies, each one reminding the survivors of the price of victory. Bonner's bravery in those final moments, her commitment to her comrades, and her sacrifice during the escape are etched in the minds of all who fought beside her. The emotional toll of their losses is heavy, but the resilience of the human spirit shines through, providing the strength needed to carry on. As humanity begins to heal, the camera shows the rebuilding efforts on various worlds. The once barren landscapes are now being transformed into thriving hubs of human ingenuity and hope. Cities rise from the rubble, and new governments are formed to ensure peace and freedom for all. It's clear that humanity's path forward won't be easy, but there is an undeniable sense of unity among the survivors, a bond forged through hardship and sacrifice. The final moments of the story provide a sense of closure, but also a spark of hope for the future. A human fleet sets out on a mission to explore new territories, leaving behind the remnants of the Empire and setting course for a new star system. As the ships travel through the vast expanse of space, the scene is both calm and powerful, signifying the new chapter in humanity's journey. In the final shot, the voice of Captain Hart is heard, echoing one last time, "We fought because they thought we were weak. But in the end, it was our hearts that defeated them." This line serves as a powerful reminder that while the Empire had the advanced technology, the strength of the human heart, our compassion, ingenuity, and unbreakable will, was the true force that won the war. The fleet, moving forward into the unknown, symbolizes humanity's boundless potential and hope for the future. The story ends with a sense of finality and triumph, showing that even in the darkest of times, humanity's ability to rise and rebuild remains unmatched.